and today I'm going to show you how to make this cute cushion using the Big's Circle Magic die along with the Sizzix Big Shot Express. To start this project off, we're going to cut a whole load of the petals in the different colours that we need. We're also going to cut a lining in the same shape for each of the pieces, and I'll show you why in a moment. For now, we're going to pop those layers on top of the die, take the adapter out of there, the multi-purpose platform, and then we're going to use the cutting plates, one on top and one underneath, and then pop that into the machine and simply press that to go through. As it reaches the end, I'm going to then bring it back through towards me just to make sure I get a really good clean cut. Bring it back a touch more, and then bringing that out of the machine, you can see I've just got those layers there, and I've got my green one cut as well. Once I've cut all the shapes that I need, we're then going to start piecing those together. To make each of the petals, we're going to pair up one of the pattern pieces with one of the lining pieces. The reason for doing this is that it gives you a really quick way of getting a very precise, very neat edge to your petal. As you can see, when you're actually cutting these shapes, there's a seam allowance worked into them, which means that those ends have just been clipped off. So if you were to applique them straight onto a cushion or anything like that, you'd have a little flat end rather than a pointed end. So what we're going to do to get around that is we're going to put the lining fabric on top, right sides together, of our normal pattern fabric. And as you can see on this one here, then I've given a 1/4 inch seam allowance the whole way round. Once you've got to that stage there, we then bring it over to this one here, where you can see that I've started clipping just around the edge of the fabric. And what that does is make it easier to turn out. So I'm just going to finish off clipping that one. And what I've also done on this end is I've just trimmed off a little bit of the excess fabric, and that just makes that easier to turn out. What I'm then going to do to be able to take it to this stage is I'm going to very carefully pull the two layers apart and make a very small snip in the lining layer. What I can then do is pop my scissors inside and open that cut a little bit wider. Once I've done that, I can then turn the whole thing inside out. Okay, so just pushing that through. And you could get something like a little metal nail file or something like that, just to really poke it up into those corners. Anything you like. Use the end of a pencil, whatever you like, as I say. And then what you're going to do is, once this is fully turned out, you're then going to press that shape, and it's going to come out to this kind of finished product here. Okay, now on the back you can still see I've got that slit on there, but you can see that I've actually got a really nice finish the whole way around, simply by taking some time just to push out all the edges and then press it flat. You're going to need to repeat that for each of the petals that you're going to make. Depending on the size of the project you're going to make, you'll need to do some more. Choose your colours and get going with that, and then we're going to take it to the next step. Now that you've got all of your petals made, we're going to place them as we want them on the front of the cushion. So picking those up and just placing them around. Now it's a good idea to double check where the centre of your fabric is, and you can do that really simply by folding the fabric in half and creasing it in each direction just to double check, because what you don't want, if you're looking for a centralised design, is to end up with it slightly off centre. Very, very frustrating. So I'm going to pop these so that the points are meeting, and just play around with them just to make sure that if there's a slight gap in the centre, they're all still equally spaced. There we go. And I'm going to pop these other ones around the edge. Just double check I've got that spacing right. Okay, and you'd continue with that to make the desired pattern that you want to, and then simply pin them in place. I like to start in the centre when you're pinning these, as it's going to be most important to make sure that those points don't move. And then once you've got them all in place, with some basic ones and a couple just to secure the sides of each one as well, just to make it easier for while you're stitching. Once it's all pinned, you can see here from the finished cushion that I've used a blanket stitch the whole way around each of the petals to secure them in place. Now you can do that by hand or machine, but if you are doing it by machine, a little hint for you is start in one of these points here, work your way out and do 3 petals, and then come a third of the way around, do the same thing. And then again, one last time over here, doing the last 3. And then if you start in the center for the last ones, you just have 3 more to stitch around there. And if you do it like that, you're not going to need to keep on cutting the fabric and moving the cushion around. And it's going to just mean that you can use your time a little bit more efficiently at the sewing machine. So now we have the finished cushion. What a cute little design it is. This is one of my favourites to make because you can brighten up a whole room just with freshening up a cushion. You can rescue a cushion that's had something spilt on it or drawn on it, and you can make this into a keepsake item by incorporating little bits of fabric from clothes that your kids have grown out of, or from projects that you finished and just had a little bit spare of. Now don't forget that you can find out more hints and tips from our blog and from our website, and any makes we would absolutely love to see. Do tag them with #MySizzixHome and enjoy making.